What is it with the Japanese and superhero transformation scenes? For that matter, what is with the Japanese in putting the letter Z in so many of their anime titles? Oh, and just like in Sailor Moon, that same lengthy transformation scene, or a variation of it, is in nearly every single episode. Now, let me mention their weapons. Oh yeah, you did hear that right. The Powerpuff Girls use weapons in this. You're probably asking, why the hell do girls with super strength, laser vision, fire breath, ice breath, sonic screams, and so forth need weapons? Well, by this point you should have noticed that so much about the Powerpuff Girls Z doesn't make any sense, so you should probably just stop asking questions. Strangely, in the anime version, the girls don't seem to have any of the powers they had in the original version. They can fly and they have super strength, but that's about it. So let's talk about the weapons. Buttercup's weapon is a giant mallet that looks like it comes out of a Bugs Bunny cartoon. Bubbles uses, appropriately enough, a giant bubble blower that makes bubbles that act as force fields or temporary prisons. I guess the weapons fit the characters in this case. Buttercup likes to smash things, while Bubbles is, well, bubbly. But what about Blossom? Oh, she has a yo-yo. Excuse me for a minute. Okay. What was I droning about? Oh yeah, the yo-yo. The yo-yo. Blossom's weapon is a yo-yo. As if the cartoon hammer and giant bubble blower weren't retarded enough. A yo-yo. Seriously. Unless you're Django the Hypnotist, you're not going to convince me that a yo-yo is an intimidating weapon. I guess if you really tried, you could make a yo-yo seem dangerous. You could probably smack someone in the face with it and cause a pretty nasty bruise. Maybe you could use the string to strangle someone or tie them up. The only problem is Blossom isn't using the yo-yo to fight ordinary slobs. She's using it to fight monsters and supervillains. Can you imagine if other superheroes tried that tactic? What if Goku did that? Do you think the Dragon Ball Z series would have lasted as long as it did? Hell no! The Earth would be space dust and Frieza would be ruling the universe as an immortal tyrant in the very first episode. By far the biggest problem I have with the anime Powerpuff Girls is the way the characters have been reimagined. And by reimagined, I mean mauled beyond recognition. The girls themselves have basically the same personality that they had in the American cartoon, but there are some major changes. Blossom isn't the altruistic leader because of her views of right and wrong, she's just obsessed with superheroes and thinks that being one sounds cool. Bubbles isn't cute and ditzy because of her innocence, she's just that oblivious to her surroundings. Buttercup isn't as violent and hardcore as she is in the American cartoon. Probably because of the way the anime has watered down and girlified everything. Instead, she's just a sports-loving tomboy who got that way because she was raised in a house full of guys. Although I do find the fact that her father is a masked wrestler to be kinda cool. Professor Utonium received one of the weirdest changes. Since he isn't the girl's father in the anime, he's now the father of a useless mini-me clone of himself named Ken. Yes, that really is his name. The professor is also married, but you never see his wife because she's an astronaut and is always out on some space mission. The Utonium family has another member in the form of a little robot dog named Peach, or Poochie, or Pooch, depending on whether or not you're watching the dub. I do not lie when I tell you that I absolutely hate Peach. He's the snarf of this series. His sole existence seems to consist of nothing more than calling attention to how cute he is. He's also responsible for calling the girls to action so they get to do that stupid transformation scene in each episode, which is another reason for me to want to see him to end up as a pile of scrap metal.